Hello Year 8 and welcome to your first assessment task for Geography for 2015. And before you all go running away in horror screaming because you hate doing assessment tasks, just be very thankful that we have saved you from needing to do an in-class essay under exam conditions, and we have given you a reprieve and you are going to be able to do a hand-in task this time. What are you doing? You are doing a TNC's case study report. You have to choose a TNC. You should know by now, because you should have done it in class, that a TNC is a transnational corporation, a big global company, and you can choose from Nestle, McDonald's, Nike or Apple. You need to do all parts of your case study on the same TNC. So if you choose Apple, you've got to do all parts of your task on Apple. So what have you got to do? Let's have a bit of a look. The first part of your task is looking at global brand and culture. So let's have a look at what you've got to do. You've got to get 2 pictures of the company's global brand being used in a non-English speaking country. What's the global brand? You know what it is. It is all of that imaging and marketing that you see. So it's the Apple with the bite taken out of it. It's the Nike tick, the swoosh. It is the ribbon device that Coke uses on all of their bottles. It's the golden arches. You know what the global brand is. You need to show us pictures of that global brand being used overseas in advertising in other languages, okay? You have to name the country the image is taken from. So where is that image from? Where is that global brand being used? And the last one is that you have to do some writing. You have to say to us, what is the possible impact that that global brand might have on the culture of that company? What might the impact be? And we've got some examples for you of global brand being used somewhere else. So here's one. Here's KFC being used on a billboard in China. And here is Domino's Pizza being used in the Middle East with all of their traditional language information in there. Okay, now you'll notice here that there's an extra little thing here, and it says better answers won't just say what they think the possible impact might be on that global brand, but they're going to give us specific examples of how the brand actually has changed specific aspects of that culture. So you might need to dig a little bit deeper and find a little bit more information about that. That's the first bit. Okay, the next bit here, global production and people working in other countries. Okay, so one of the key characteristics of TNCs is that they don't just operate in one country, they operate around the globe. You need to find 2 pieces of evidence that show the company working around the globe. Then you have to do some writing. You have to say, how does that evidence actually tell us? How is that evidence an example of the company making their stuff in other countries? And the last thing you need to tell us in your writing is what are some of the positive and negative impacts that that company has for the people that are working for them in the other countries. Okay, so I have got some examples of that for you too. So if we have a look here, what might be the best place to go to, the best authority on where companies operate? Might be even the company's own website might be a good place to start. And here's a bit of an example for you. So if I have a look here at where their headquarters are, I can go and see where the headquarters are. Here's the headquarters in Germany, in Herzogenaurach something or other, because that's a massive name and I don't know how to say it. But that's where the headquarters is, and you've got a number of those smaller dots are showing some of the smaller headquarters for Adidas. But if you have a look on this page over here, it tells you here are the top places where we, having our stuff supplied for us and made for us. It's got Brazil, China, Indonesia, Turkey, Italy, Spain, lots of different places. But you don't have to restrict your information, or if you can't find information on the website of your company, your TNC, you can look at other places. So here's an example of Oxfam. Oxfam's operated or has a branch here locally in Australia, and we're going, okay, here they are saying we've got evidence of people that are working in Indonesia. Now that's not in Germany where the headquarters are, and we've got information on what they're making and that they're being paid very low wages in their factories. Okay, so there's some information there. Now if you have a look here, we've also got, if you want a really good mark, better answers. Better answers are not just going to say what are the positive and negative things for the people, but how has that TNC contributed to global patterns of poverty and wealth? So if you have a little bit of a look, there are some other things here that I've got for you. Here's another, wrong page, somewhere here. Here it is. Finally, we found it. This has some information from Adidas themselves about the kind of things that they are doing to look at improving social and environmental issues. And here is another web page that's talking about Adidas being involved in this. Over here you can see it, Pay Fair, Play Fair movement, where they are trying to improve the living wages of the people. So you can't just take the information from one website into account, because they might give you a very different view of what's actually happening. So if you have a little bit of a look here, this is a little bit more balanced information about what's going on, helping to contribute to global patterns of poverty and wealth. Okay, so we are now on to the third thing that you have to do. That is looking at how these indicators of globalization, the technology, the transport, the communication, how has the company actually used those things to help them globalize? So again, you've got to find two sources of evidence that actually show that the company has used innovations in either technology, transport or communication to help it spread around the globe. Once you've done that, you've got to say, how does your evidence show that? What in your evidence, what in whatever you find actually tells us that the company is using those improvements to spread around the globe? And I'll have a little bit of a look. So we come back here. Here is one about transport. So here we are saying there's a company that Adidas is using, and they're called Toll, and they are a company that do transportation and warehousing and distribution. And it's talking about all of the features, the state-of-the-art technology. It talks about Dematic multi-shuttles that are operating to, cycle through getting retrievals of different kinds of stock. All of these kind of things this is actually an example of transport as well as technology being used to help them to trade around the globe, because the quicker that they can get their stock out there, the quicker and the more widespread that their products can be sent around the world. So that's your example of how this particular piece of evidence actually tells us that they're using the transportation. And here is another one which is all about technology, how they're using technology to be able to spread around the globe. And this is about the actual technology that they're using to make those shoes. And it's talking about particular knitting technologies that they're using to produce this knitting technique. And it's going to boost the industry's efficiency. It's going to cut down on materials, labour, shipping and time, because they can make the product start to finish in one place. And that's another reason why. It's a technology reason why they're able to improve globalization and improve their spread around the world, because they can actually base an operation somewhere and then get that stuff shipped out quicker than ever to all of us people around the world that are going to buy their stuff. Again, something for people that are going to want to really aim for a high mark. If you want to try for a high mark, you're going to actually include some specific examples or some statistics and some observations of your own about that spread of technology, transport and communication. And you're also going to tell us something about how that helps to build a global village. And if you want to refer back in your textbook to page 200, it has got some information about Global Village on it. The last little item that you need to deliver to us here is a formal bibliography. So you all should know by now how to do that. And it is really important, if you want to get a good mark, to not just give us web links, but give us proper referencing, and you can use BibMe. Mrs. Scanlon showed you all in transition how to do that last year. You should all know what to do with that. So you're handing it in to an assignment Dropbox. You are, please use the cover sheet. Don't put it in a plastic sleeve or a display folder. The last bit is please hand it in as a formal report. Put in titles, put in headings, put in page numbers. Make sure we can see your name so that we can actually give you marks. As always, there is a marking criteria. You should be checking against the marking criteria to make sure you are doing a good job. And we have also got a preparation plan for you, okay? So this week, week 2, we want you to choose which one of those TNCs you're going to work on and start finding some of those images for the TNC's global brand. So just make a start. Do something easy. Then we've got a suggested time frame for you there, your marking criteria, your cover sheet, and that is the end of what I need to tell you. So very, very, very best of luck with doing your task. If you do need help, please make sure that you let your teacher know. You can ask me if you need to. Just a reminder, this is the due date, okay? Thursday in week 5. So good luck, and we will see you in class. Bye.